I'm interested in NFL on CBS. Of course, you've had a record regular season. We're anticipating record eyeballs for Sunday. What about those ads? Bloomberg Intelligence think you might be raking in as much as $700 million. Is that the right sort of amount, Bob?
So, Caroline, it's been an incredible season for the NFL on CBS. We set the high watermark for ratings since the property returned in 1998. We set the all-time record for a divisional playoff game. And to your point, we set the high watermark for ad sales for a Super Bowl. And it's looking like on Sunday, we'll set an all-time viewing number with any luck. So it's an incredible year to be the NFL on CBS.
We're a technology show. From a technology perspective, just how much of a feat is it to be able to put this across all your properties, to be able to have SpongeBob doing his thing, whether it's on Nickelodeon, but also to be consuming it via cable or streaming?
Yeah, so the infrastructure around the Super Bowl to ensure that the world's audiences can see it is truly extraordinary. I mean, the number of cameras, remote cameras, et cetera, I think it's like 140 or something like that. And to your point, we obviously have the main feed on CBS here in the United States. We have the first ever alternate telecast of a Super Bowl on Nickelodeon, which is going to be super fun. And to your point on tech, we're actually going to do all the graphics and enhancements real time. When we did the last Nickelodeon game last year, we did that very quickly, but it wasn't real time. The tech is now allows us to do it real time, so that's super cool. And then, of course, we have it on Paramount Plus, streaming simultaneously. So yeah, a lot of infrastructure, a lot of people behind the scenes, but we're feeling great about it. And we've been doing Super Bowls longer than anyone else, so we'll get it done.
Let's talk about the anyone else. Let's talk about how, well, sports content is so hot right now, and everyone wants to think about how we can offer it through a streaming product. I look at Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers, the announcement this week. You've shown, and I think about how Super Bowl, actually 2021 was how you announced Paramount Plus and the breadth of content. But how do you tackle the focus on sports coming from rivals?
So we love sports here at Paramount. Obviously, it's a key component of CBS. I think about it as a slice of the wheel. It's part of our programming offering. Same with Paramount Plus. You know, we talk about Paramount Plus as news, sports, and a mountain of entertainment. Obviously, the NFL is a key part of that. But I want to emphasize that we like a broad product. We've looked at sports-only plays in digital, both a standalone basis and with partners, and we continue to believe that broad is better. We see that in people coming in for sports properties, subscribing for things like the NFL. But if you look at the sports viewer on Paramount Plus, believe it or not, 90% of their engagement, i.e. time spent, is with non-sports programming. So again, bring them in with sports, but key to the model is elongate it and entertain them, quite frankly, with other stuff as well. We firmly believe that leads to accessing a bigger TAM, bigger market, and it is better for the business model, and so we like broad.
For our Bloomberg television and radio audience around the world, we're speaking to Paramount Global CEO Bob Bakish. It is Super Bowl weekend. And Bob, just what you were saying about the profile of the consumer on the platform. You know, I use the platform for Champions League football, and you have such a long season with the Champions League. You have your in-studio talent component, but you also the ability to show multiple games in the same evening. You have choice. And then at the end of the season, you have a big finale. And the NFL kind of works the same way, right? You had a great regular season, as Caroline points out. But proportionately for your business, what's more important? The big standalone single event this Sunday, or the traction you get over the duration of a season?
So a couple things. As we said, you know, the NFL this season set a record for CBS in terms of viewership since 1998, which is pretty extraordinary. And clearly, the divisional playoff game, which also set an all-time record, was important. But I think it's the arc of the whole thing. And frankly, there's nothing like the Super Bowl in the world. And obviously, that's a big event for us. But you mentioned UEFA, too. We love UEFA. As you know, the UEFA season is going to start right after the American football season. and that is also a great product for fans of Paramount Plus. And we just extended that deal, and the new format for UEFA includes a more exciting, sort of call it playoff format. So again, great product, and we do see people consuming that product alongside entertainment product. So we love sports, we love the NFL, we love UEFA, and we love it as a part of Paramount Plus.
I found it interesting what you said about the consumption of non-sports content. Halo Season 2, prime example of that. You talked about UEFA following the Super Bowl. How much will you be putting into advertising this weekend? So while you've got all those eyeballs, you can say, hey, this is what else Paramount Plus is offering in the coming weeks and months.
Great point. We are using the Super Bowl as a showcase for Paramount Global. I'm sitting here at our CBS set on the Strip in front of the Bellagio. We had CBS Mornings going from here today and yesterday, and we have other properties operating here in Vegas. We are also using the Super Bowl as a promotional platform. So you see a new Pluto look and feel brand campaign rolling out. You see Paramount Plus spots. You see the Bob Marley movie, which is opening on for Valentine's Day weekend. So yeah, we're showcasing Paramount Global to the biggest audience in the world on the biggest weekend in the world. And frankly, it's great to be in Vegas. It's electric.
Bob, people see value, a lot of value in your content, and people therefore see value in your company. And we know there's been plenty of reports of a $14 billion offer for the business. Are you for sale?
So look, as a management team and our board of directors, we are focused on shareholder value creation. The most predictable route to that is execution. So we are laser focused on execution, driving Paramount Plus, elongating earnings in the traditional media sector, opening movies, et cetera. But simultaneously or in parallel, we continue to look at other options as we have been, including transactional ones. So again, a lot of activity, but I think what's important about it is it really shines a light on the incredible value of Paramount Global. We have an unmatched content engine in terms of our studios, new production, whether that's episodic series or films, as well as irreplaceable libraries across demographics, whether it's kids with Nickelodeon, adults, et cetera. So it's an extraordinary asset. We're focused on maximizing the value of that asset, again, day to day through execution, but also continuing to look at other routes.
And this is a sensitive one, Bob, but we've had analysts come on the show and say, you know, there are just too many players in the space. And you've got to be huge. You can't even just be medium-sized. From your perspective, with Paramount Plus and streaming, are you getting to profitability? I know you've got your earnings around the corner, but how soon can you sort of deliver that? Because I know you spoke to that in the third quarter, for example.
Yeah, so I'd say a couple things. One is you're right, that narrative is out there. There are people with that point of view. But I'd point to our third quarter call, where we continue to show Paramount Plus is a growing service, continues to have the most net adds of any streaming service since we launched. Point one. Point two is on our third quarter call, we talked about the fact that we expect, and I have to be careful with my word choice here because as you point out, our fourth quarter call is in 2 weeks, but we expect 2022 was in fact our peak streaming investment, not 2023, which we guided to. That says we're ahead of plan on the path to profitability for streaming, and we're very excited about 2024, but I'll have to leave it at that until our earnings call in a couple weeks where we'll have more to say.
Right. Bob, a global CEO has to pass a lot of data. Quantify the impact of Taylor Swift for me on this Sunday's Super Bowl.
Look, Taylor's obviously a phenomenon. She's a force in music. For all of us that have seen her tour, it's incredible. And she has, without a doubt, been incremental to audience on the NFL. There's different points of view on how incremental, but she's a great addition, widening the net of the NFL viewer even further. We're looking forward to having her here in Vegas this weekend at the game. And I think it'll be just an incremental thing. But the main point is the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus is just an extraordinary property. As I said, we set the high water mark already for a Super Bowl in terms of ad revenue. It's looking like we will set the high watermark on viewing. And is Taylor part of that? Yeah, she probably is an incremental part of that, but it's just great.